That was supposed to be the end of it, right? No, 2021, the dumpster fucking fire already. Jesus Christ, you fucking grateful. Fuck, I can't even talk. This year already sucks.
Do you mute my microphone but unmute yours because you're worried about what I'm going to say whilst the music is playing?
Yes. Some of the shit that you say, Hugh, fucking scares me, and I can't keep paying the attorney.
Fair enough. Yeah. I just want to know that we're on the same page, so.
Yeah, no, we're good. So what's up, brother? How's everything?
Oh, man, as you can tell, I'm living in my trailer.
trailer.
I am prepping for my move. My house has got everything shut off except the water and the internet. So I can shower and watch porn tonight. And then tomorrow morning, you have to have the essentials. You have to have the essentials, yeah.
The fact that you're living in a trailer, all I think of is like a dirty 70s movie with
like Matthew McConaughey opens the door with long hair and a shitty mustache, like picking lint out of his belly button, like, all right.
Some old lady comes in, is like, and you go, stepmom, no, I don't want to do this. It's so weird. Oh, okay. Anyway, everyone, thank you for joining Liberty Risk Podcast. I'm Billy.
And I'm Hugh. And I am super excited for our guest tonight, man. Alan Walker is the fucking champ. He's the champ. Fucking man. But let me tell you, bro. So I met Alan when I was my dad was stationed in La Maddalena, Italy, and his dad was stationed there as well. And
oh shit! So this goes back.
Oh, back like 03, 04-ish. Like we're coming up on like 20 years.
I was at the end of my first enlistment. Anyway,
I was gonna say, listen here, old man, we're coming up on 20 years.
You fucking piece of shit! Like what the fuck? 03, 04. I'm like, oh, that's cool. What's going on my second deployment? You cock.
So we met either at like the rec center or on base, and I can't remember what it was, but we were going to meet up to work on some sort of project. I think it was a writing project, which would have been weird because we were not in any classes together because we met over the summer. But we were going to write something, and so I was like, "Hey, I'll meet you at such and such place at such and such time."
Yeah,
and he was, keep in mind, it's 03, 04. We didn't have that porn machine you have in your hand there. We had like the Nokia brick, like when phones were still getting smaller before you realized you could get porn on them and they started to get bigger again.
Yeah, isn't that funny how like Pornhub came out and the phone's like, oh look, your new 17-inch phone. You're like, hey Ma, how's it going? I don't know what the screaming is in the background. I'm sorry. Hold on one second.
What kind of phone do you have? Oh, the Decepticon 9000. Yeah, okay. So we agreed we're going to meet it. Yeah, we agreed we were going to be at this place at this time, and that day and time came up, and this is over the summer. So for me, I was back from high school in London, and we were in Italy. My mom was like, "You're not going. We're going to do some other thing." And I was like, "Well, I told a buddy of mine I'd meet him," and she was like, "Tough shit." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do about that then." So I didn't see him for the rest of the summer, and I didn't know where he lived. So I go on the plane. I fly back to England a couple days early of all the new kids, and I didn't know that he was going to London. So a couple days later, all the new kids show up, and he gets off the bus. I'm like, oh my God, like, it's so crazy that you're here. And immediately he was so furious. And at the time, I was wrestling in the 112-pound category. I was still 5'6". I haven't grown since 6th grade. Yeah, Troy, we get it. You're an old man. Oh, I'm sorry. Chief Select Sweeney, mazel to you. Slow clap.
Oh,
yeah. And Alan is maybe 3 or 4 inches taller than me, and is like yelling at me for standing him up. And I felt like such a dick. And it was the first time I'd ever encountered a situation where somebody was that angry with me, and I didn't know what to say. And so here we are, almost 20 years later. He is significantly more successful than I am, and I'm very excited for him. He served a bunch of time in the Army, in the intel community. He graduated from Old Dominion. He's got his master's in cybersecurity. He started his own company out here in Virginia. And if I understand his last post correctly, he's basically contract with a city out here. Billy, please bring it in. Our guest tonight is Alan Walker.
Hey, how you doing?
How'd I do? Did I get the details right?
You did great.
Hold on. Before Hugh gets into this, I want to hear it from your point of view, Alan. I want to hear how angry you were at him.
So it all started with, so I wasn't a part of his, well, there's a bunch of people basically in Italy that like they went to school in London. My parents didn't want to send me and my sister there the first year, so they decided to homeschool us. So I was just twiddling my thumbs the whole time. So that's how it all started. So I was basically like a little like photojournalist for the base newspaper. So I asked him when he came back. It was like, okay, hey, like let's get together. The story that we were doing was the story that I was doing for the base newspaper.
That's right.
He was going to be a part of it. So he didn't show up. So since he didn't show up, I had no paper. And I'm over here trying to be this budding photojournalist up and coming. And the first thing I have to offer was nothing. So I looked real dumb. I looked dumb. So that's why I was upset. I was 6'2", so I'm 6'1" now. But I'm taller than you, and I was upset.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, like, honestly, I appreciate
it. I'm like, oh, God, I've never fucked up so bad in my life.
Yeah, I appreciate the height. I do. But it's not hard to be taller than you. It really isn't.
Both Billy's daughters are almost my height. I don't even think they're allowed to go to. What are they? Are they even in middle school?
My 11-year-old daughter is like 3 inches shorter than you.
Yeah, well, who is it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Hugh. That's embarrassing. You're like a hobbit.
Oh, thank you. Right. Yeah, for sure. So, Alan, I really want to. I'm super excited for you to talk about your company, SciSec Sol. Did you just got a contract with a city out here, correct? Richmond, if I remember correctly.
So it's not Richmond; it's the city of Franklin. The city of Franklin.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So we're really excited about that.
I am too, man. Because you haven't even had your LLC for a year yet.
It's been like maybe not even almost 2 months. Little over 2 months.
Awesome. That's pretty fucking cool, bro. Before we get into that, I wanna talk to you about your time in the Army. You did 6 years, right? Got out as a specialist, E4 Mafia.
Hey.
And one deployment, correct?
So I was in Belle Chase, Louisiana. I supported those who were downrange. I myself did not go.
Okay. So your phone gets the internet now. It gets the TV. So you, like the rest of us, have read all these instructions and these manuals and these referendums and whatever else the fucking leadership says that they're going to do, which all kind of sounds like political bullshit. Sounds like communism with extra steps, but whatever. So I would like to ask you a question as somebody who has actually been on the ground floor, has been in these positions, and has had these experiences. Was it hard being black in the Army?
Yeah, definitely. I think I had to work twice as hard as everyone else.
Did you work with mostly honkies?
You're funny as hell. Yeah, I did. So in the intel community, everyone looks the same. Civilian and military, everyone looks the same. That stereotypical white guy, right? Yeah. And obviously, I'm not white, and my name ain't Chad.
Jesus Christ!
I'm just saying, it's definitely.
Right. I mean, it's.
So when you got to your first unit, like right out of the gate, did you recognize that there may be some issues?
Definitely, and I didn't go to just a regular unit either. My first unit, instead of going to a tactical unit, I went to a strategic unit. So my entire AO wasn't just some pretend battlefield over in Yakistan, right? It was actual South America. So the whole South America continent was our AO at Belle Chase, and there was a huge disparity between white people and black people, especially in the officer and enlisted ranks.
Oh, do you have mostly white officers?
I've never seen a black intelligence officer.
Fucking answer that question.
No.
Did you when you first got to that unit, when you first checked into Belle Chase, first saw who you were working with, do you think that were you already aware of the disparities you might have to work with, or when you got there and got boots on the ground in that location, did it then kind of become a little bit more clear how much harder you might have to work as opposed to your counterparts, or were you prepared for that?
Yeah, so I wasn't prepared for that. So growing up, Hugh, as you know, I was probably one of few black people you knew back in 2003, 2004 in Sardinia, right? So I remember it was me, my sister, and that's it. Especially for everyone that went to.
I can think of one or two other people. Then I don't think they were there at the same time as you.
Yeah, no. So there was a guy named David Marbury. I met him for like the first time, and he was like, "Hey, my name is D," and I was trying to be cool, so I was like, "Hey, my name's Alan," so they called me A, and I thought it was the coolest thing since sliced bread. But I wasn't used to being around black people then. You know what I mean? And then growing up, moving back to the States when I was like 17, I went to a high school that was like 50% black people, and you coming from where we came from,
mm-hmm.
I was. What you said?
That was probably a big culture shock because we, there's, let's not beat around the fucking bush. I would be very comfortable saying that the majority of the time that we were in La Maddalena, you were either white or Pacific Islander.
Yeah. 100%.
When you got to this unit, how long did it take for you to clue in you were going to have to work harder unnecessarily?
I'll tell you a story. So it's a shame because I'm cool friends with all of them now, so it's weird. But they were all dicks, and I was a huge asshole. So I had an attitude problem. I thought I was big shit, and slowly found out that I wasn't. And I don't know if it was because I was a punk E3 that thought I knew what was going on, but they quickly put me in my place. And then when I first saw the first black person working there, I was so excited. I was like, "Yo, Staff Sergeant, what's happening?" And she looked up and she kept on moving. I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, oh my God. Like I was excited to see her, but she was just so focused on her mission that she didn't even speak to me. So that's how. That was probably a few months after I got there.
You think maybe she lapsed in her head that maybe this brand new E3 is seeing the first black person in the intel community after checking in here, maybe they needed a little help. She was just like, "Nah, I got shit to do." Like,
no, she was. In hindsight, I would have said that, but actually, like, she's like my best friend now, so it's weird. So she was just focused on, but she was a black woman. She is a black woman who was a staff sergeant at the time, who was she was the assistant to the general, the 2-star general we had there. And we had a 2-star and a 1-star.
So like an adjutant?
Yeah, she was like not their aide de camp.
She didn't have time to stand around and talk to people, like regardless of what was going on. The 1 and 2
exactly.
I got you. How long? Do you remember how long you were at that command before you started to feel comfortable?
I don't think I ever really felt comfortable.
Answer. It's an appropriate answer if you never felt comfortable.
Yeah, no,
do you recall being passed over for positions or recommendations or awards, and just kind of like in the back of your mind being like, "I know why"? Like, did you see
so
people around you getting maybe didn't deserve it?
Yeah, hell yeah, man. So my original NCO, I mean, I gotta admit, I was an asshole. But I never got promoted. It's supposed to be in the Army. It's like, it's almost like, okay, it's January 2004, time to get promoted, right? It's like clockwork, right? I was never promoted by him. So it was when something happened in our section and I got placed with a black NCO that I was promoted like that, like instantly. So
how'd that make you feel? That it did? I want to ask this question, but I want to feel like I'm pandering. Do you feel like it was because you were with a black NCO that you got promoted? Do you feel like maybe like finally somebody recognizes, but it took that other guy being out of the picture for you to get what you think you were owed?
I do, because like, so when I was literally building intelligence products, like legit in-house intelligence products, classified briefings. I never got recognized one time, and I was giving those to 1 and 2-star generals, right? So I then went to the news section, and maybe 2 months after I got there, I got promoted, but he was having a change of command. The 2-star was having a change of command ceremony. I contacted all 36 of his units, right? So Bell Chase is the largest 2-star command in the whole Army. So he had 36 units underneath that one general. I contacted all of their CSMs, brought on their what's it called? Their
Guide on?
Yeah, their guidons. So their guidons for their commanders, which was 1-star generals. So at least 1-star generals, 1-star generals or full bird colonels. And I brought all 36 by myself from 36 places throughout the United States. I held on to them, calculated, make sure they were all where they need to be. Because you lose a guidon, especially for a 1-star general, I mean, you're going to get fucked up, right?
Yeah.
So then they came for the change of command. The change of command went well. All 36 1-stars or colonels saluted. The change of command was great. They went back to their unit, and I then shipped all their guidons one at a time to the unit. That might seem simple. It's only 36 guidons.
No, man, you got 36 fucking guidons. You got to ship properly to the location in a time frame. Otherwise, they're gonna find a reason to be fucking pissed.
So, Alan, we got a question from one of our viewers here. So I'm going to put it up on the screen so you could read it. I'm also going to read it out loud. So Danique wrote, "Thanks for being so real. We all know it happens, but it's so crucial to bring it out and talk about this." So her question was, did the race factor sway your decision to leave the military?
Yes. Like it definitely did. So like my dad is a 32-year Navy veteran, right? I joined the Army, so I really wanted to be in law enforcement, but I wanted to be in the National Guard or reserves as an intelligence officer. And I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. So I tried hard before I even left active duty. Hey, I want to get a commission. I want to do something great, right? I want to lead soldiers the way they need to be led. I never got that opportunity. I reached out to many and I was like, hey, can you support me in my dream? And they're like, no, the only way I could get that commission was joining the National Guard as a 09 Sierra.
Which for us Navy folks means what?
Oh, sorry, it's an officer candidate in the United States.
Okay.
We do have civilians that watch this. They're like, I don't know what his numbers meant.
So at the end of your enlistment, when it was time for you to get out, what'd you do?
So I got out. I joined the National Guard. They said, hey, you can be an officer candidate. And I was like, okay, officer candidate, that's on the weekends. What am I going to do? It was literally every weekend. So most time you go National Guard Reserve, you go once a week, but not in the Virginia National Guard doing OCS. You go every weekend. The shit was tight. And so I went back to school. So while I wasn't at an officer candidate, I was at Old Dominion University getting my degree in criminal justice.
Nice. Yeah. Sup, ODU? Give me free stuff.
So exactly, I love ODU.
So Hugh, we have another question from Jeannie. Jeannie's one of our very avid listeners. So I'm going to put this up on the screen. If you want to, Alan, you can address this now, or we could address this after the show. It's up to you. Okay. It's kind of a lengthy question. So, and just so you know, she's in the. Sorry, Alan, it cut your face off real quick. I apologize about that. But
she's an active duty tech sergeant in the Air Force out there in Colorado.
And she's a mental health professional for the Air Force. So this is where this question's coming from. Culturally speaking, black males typically do not reach out for mental health support because of the image you're expected to display because of the very real negative impression it could have on you as a black male. Would you have any advice for black males today who are struggling with mental health issues? I would be interested to know if you ever faced any mental health issues and how, one, being an intel, if that deterred you from getting support, and two, if being black and in intel, and then I'm sorry, Ginny got cut off after that.
Yeah, but that's a pretty deep question.
Yeah, and like I said, we could address that after because we talked to Jeannie offline. So
no, I want to talk. I want to talk about it now. I think
good. No, it's great. Go, Alan. Go ahead. It's floor is yours, man.
What was the first question? What was the first question, real quick?
So here, I'll put it. You want me to put it back up there, Alan, for everybody?
Go ahead.
So culturally speaking, black males typically do not reach out for mental health support because of the image you're expected to display and because of the very real negative impression it could have on you as a black male. Would you have any advice for black males today who are struggling with mental health issues? She also said, I would be interested to know if you ever faced any mental health issues and how, being an intel, if that deterred you from getting support. And the second question, unfortunately, got cut off.
So yes, I would say get help as soon as possible because no one cares about your future and future career, either in the military or in the civilian world, more than you do. I did not have the support of my chain of command. I thought about sharing this story, and I decided I wasn't going to. But since you asked, maybe someone needs to know. It was hard being black and in intelligence, right? So there's not a lot of black people in military intelligence, right? So within that, our clearance, our top secrets are we keep them close to the chest, because the moment you show in some kind of anything that can be manipulated or you can be blackmailed about, or shows that your mind is unstable, then they're going to yank your clearance. And if you get your clearance yanked, you can't work in intel, and then you'll be either kicked out the Army or you'll be put on like some BS job, like I did.
Detail or something, yeah.
Right. So I knew someone who was he was black in the intel world, and they would literally put monkey penises on his desk at work. He reported this. I saw the pictures for myself. I'm pretty sure I can still find them somewhere. They will have stamps, monkey penises stamps, and they'll put it on his, like, little things on his desk, his books, or his screen. When he finally reported it, he got in trouble. He was the one that got messed up. So
that doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Yeah, so it doesn't at all. It was a horrible. It was really bad.
Jesus Christ!
He
that doesn't even make any sense.
You still tell people
clearance taken away.
You still tell people to reach out, though, even though this guy, he got in trouble. You still encourage people to reach out for help.
Yes, I do. I do because that guy was me. This was on my desk, and when I got in trouble for it, they moved me to the office next door. And then I had to see the guy that was doing it over and over again. Cause I didn't even mean to say anything, really. I was just talking to someone, and we were just talking about some fucked up shit that we encountered in the Army. And he was a staff sergeant, but he's like, "Yo, I'm the sharp representative." I was like, "Holy fuck!" And I was like, "Dude, I was just talking to you. That's it."
Sexual assault and response, right? Sharp.
Something like that. I don't actually know.
That dude's in a position where he's supposed to be fucking helping people, and he's over there harassing and.
Yeah, so it is what it is, and it was like it sucked. And I did get in trouble, and I got my clearance taken away.
Jesus Christ! And
now walk with me through this. I had multiple pictures on multiple days because I would so if it happened, if they put it on a piece of paper, I would then go to my computer screen and take a picture of that picture next to the date and the time. I had at least 4 or 5 different situations where I was able to do that. Nothing happened to them except I was taken away. My clearance was taken as well. And I got in trouble for, they said, cheating on my wife. Me and my ex-wife were getting divorced at the time. I think it was like I literally got divorced the following week or something like that. Yeah, but it had nothing to do with it. But they were just pulling on strings.
Yeah, just I kind of wonder, all these other fucking people in your office, were they fucking angels? Was there nothing negative going out in their fucking lives at all?
I guess not. But they would we would literally have I was kind of a straight edge guy. So I was a minister at the time. I took my religion very seriously at the time. So every time they'll do story time, like when we go on runs and stuff, okay, story time. And then they'll talk about some girl they banged out last night, right? And I could never really participate. It was never my thing because I was a minister, right?
Yeah.
So I already had me in that okay, Walker never participates. They already looked at me like the other guy, and I was black at the time. I mean, black at the time. I was black and already other. So to be other while being other was just fucked me up.
So the second part of Jeannie's question is, and I'm just going to read this, Alan, but you've kind of already answered this, is if being black and an intel deterred you from getting support. Just because it got cut off, but I mean, you've kind of already answered that. Danique also put another comment up. She goes, "That's why no one knows what SHARP stands for, Alan. This is so fucked. I'm embarrassed for the military. I know that feeling this behavior brings." So, yeah, Alan, I'm just sorry, man. I'm sorry you had to go through all that shit, dude. Just from the short time we've talked here, dude, you're fucking good people, man, and I'm just I'm fucking sorry, dude. It just sucks. You know, it's just
Alan, man. You did it. You did exactly. I fucking knew it. You know, every time you read those fucking proclamations and dumb shit, these fucking fat ass cunts up in DC put out, the fucking Secretary of the Army, Secretary of the Navy, like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and you're just over here like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you're not gonna fix any of these fucking problems because you fat cunts won't come down here and talk to anybody. But you had a shit time in the Army, man. You had a shit fucking time in the Army, but it didn't keep you down. It didn't keep you down, man. You fucking thrived. You're killing it now, man. And you're gonna be killing it for the next 40 years. So when you got out of the Army and you got into the Guard, you were going to ODU. Tell us about your time at Old Dominion and what happened after that.
So my main goal was finishing my criminal justice degree so I can become a state trooper. And I got another story for you if you don't mind.
No, go, dude.
Man, have at it, man.
Platform's yours, bro. We told you, no time limit. Right. Go, have at it.
This is another race-related issue. It happened in Chesterfield, Virginia, and the Chesterfield Police Department. So I flew back before I ETS out the Army. I flew back to start taking the policing test for the Sheriff Police Department. The Chesterfield Police Department. And they loved me, man. It was great. So I did like almost, I think it was like 80, 90 push-ups. I did like 90 to 100 sit-ups. I did like the 1.5 mile run in like fucking 7.5 minutes or something like that.
Beast mode activated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I went back there and I was like, okay, so I passed the physical. They invited me back for the test. The test, they told me I got 40 out of 40, right? Nice. And I was like, great. So this is great. So then I was like, we move forward. So I was still in school and still officer candidate at the time. They sent me they sent me the approval so that you have a conditional offer for be a police officer in Chesterfield County, Virginia. I was like, great, awesome. Then like a week and a half later, they sent it back and they said they rescinded their offer. So I was like, what the fuck? So I walk up there and I'm like, hey, I listed everything. I was like, I'm military intelligence. I have get my degree in criminal justice. I have a top secret clearance. I'm an officer candidate, United States Army National Guard. Oh, I placed third place in the Army's 10-mile race for teams. So about 35,000 people running it. My team so I listed everything. So everything. We got third place.
You're wondering, I'm over here just slaying it. Give me a fucking explanation.
Just so you know, right. I ran to the mailbox this morning and I got winded.
I was like, I did it. So I was like, yo, and I listed everything out. I was like, you can actually go to Chesterfield County, Virginia, the website and look at the reviews. And I left them a lengthy review. And I was like, yo, so why'd y'all rescind the offer? I'm the best candidate you have. Nobody beat me. And they said they couldn't tell me.
They have ever fucking had. There's no way they've ever had somebody better than you.
Exactly. Like my whole life has been scripted. Like I joined the Army so I can be a state trooper. I got my criminal justice degree so I can be a state trooper. Everything I did was for my future.
You went down on this and you were checking every fucking box on the way down.
check. And then so that happened. And then furthermore, this is also in Chesterfield, Virginia. This guy, so I was driving my truck. I had a 2015 Ram 3500. The sucker was sexy. Oh, she was bad. So I'm driving this. This thing is huge, right? It's one of the biggest trucks you can get. So I'm driving this thing. And I had Washington State license tags for my last unit, JBLM, Fort Lewis. So I'm over here driving, and this guy just out of nowhere just starts chasing me, right? So he's chasing me for like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going through Kroger parking lots. I'm going through Food Line parking lots. I ended up going the wrong way on the highway to get away from him. So I get away from him. Happened again. So I'm over here. So I'm driving home from work, and I was like, hey, and I was living in an RV behind my dad's house. And I was like, hey, Dad, the same guy's chasing me again. So I was calling him, and he was he was in the car with my mom, and they were at Kroger. So he was like, yo, come to Kroger right now. Come to Kroger right now. So I was like, so he's still chasing me. So I'm like, I end up going to Kroger. My dad blocks him in. I come up behind him. And my dad's like, hey, Robin. My middle name's Robin. So he's like, hey, Robin, back up. And I'm like, what? No, Dad, this fool been chasing me for twice. And I was just upset. And my dad's like, back up. And the guy was holding 2 guns on my dad. 2 guns. And I'm taking like a lot of pictures. So you can go to my Facebook and you can look at the pictures. So
Bro,
all the pictures I posted on
I remember
Facebook.
when you were posting the story, man. It was fucking terrible.
Right. So
I remember seeing that.
I back up, but I'm still taking a bunch of pictures and stuff. My dad's still on, like, my dad's being still held at gunpoint, and I don't know that. So I'm still acting all kinds of ignorant. And then, so finally he goes to my dad, and he was like, no, your son's a nigga with a nice truck. He has out-of-state license plates. He's a human trafficker. That truck don't belong to him, all such stuff. So we do a police report. He's a volunteer police officer with the Chesterfield County Police Department.
Of course he is.
Yeah, so I go away, I drive away, woo-woo. About a month or 2 later, the same guy is chasing me again. I call my mom. Hey, Mom, this guy's chasing me again. It's in the morning, maybe like 6 o'clock. And I was like, he's chasing me again. And he hits me. He flips me like 3 times. That's also on my Facebook page. And it's on my Instagram. My Instagram is pedestrian__ walker. So anyone can go up there and look at those pictures from when I was flipped upside down from this guy.
I remember that.
And then, so I had a dash cam because of the first 2 incidents, right? Dash cam recorded all of it. And the police said he had tinted windows, and they couldn't say that he did it for sure because he denied it. So that was that.
And this is Chesterfield?
Chesterfield County, Virginia. And he lived in Dinwiddie. That's the closest I was ever able to get the information.
Hey, Chesterfield County, Virginia Police Department. You guys are a bunch of fucking assholes.
Yeah. So, and I heard it was a good old boy system there.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it was true.
Sounds like a bunch of cunts for sure.
So, well, we got 2 comments, Alan, that I want to put up here real quick. They're for you, brother. On another note, thank you for sharing and being vulnerable with us. No one deserves the kind of harassment or abuse. I'm so sorry you ever had to experience that. That's coming from Jeannie. Jeannie's one of our good friends, and this is from Danique. For real, to second Jeannie, thanks to all of you broaching the scary topic of race and being so honest and open. So, yeah, Alan, man, I'm just, in the green room, I told you about my experience when I was trying to be a police officer down here. It's one of the things that actually deterred me from pursuing a career in law enforcement and actually made me step back. Like I said, I was born and raised in New York, in the city in Long Island, and I have a lot of friends. Where I grew up, it was you did a couple of things. You were either a firefighter, a police officer, or you did some kind of trade like plumber, electrician, or something like that. That's just the dynamic of where I grew up. That's what you did. So I have a lot of friends in the NYPD. And like I told you, I don't see color. I see respect, respect's earned and respect's given. And that. But after my incident and then hearing about this, him being a volunteer police officer, it makes me sick because there are good cops out there. There really are.
Yeah, definitely.
They're definitely absolute cunts.
Yeah, and what sucks is when you have police officers like that with what you went through, it makes me sick to my fucking stomach, dude. And I'm just glad you're okay, bro. You know what I mean? Definitely. I'm glad you weren't hurt.
Alan, tell us about. Do you remember the time that you decided you were going to go from law enforcement to cybersecurity? Do you remember what it was? What happened?
Yeah. So I had 2 friends, Rachel and Tristan. They're both white. She's a white woman. He's a white male. They're like my best friends, right? We did everything in graduate school together. And I was like, hey, so her dad was a full bird colonel. He was like a genius when it comes to developing and everything. We're like, hey, let's start a business. Let's start an idea. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do that. So when we were thinking about that, me and Tristan finished grad school and got offered like crazy money, right? Rachel, who was the smartest of us both, got offered $55,000, and I'm like, how did we not even? We're more than double that, and her being the smartest person between us. Yeah, $55,000, and we told her not to take it, and she was out of work for a year.
Hold on. Was by the same companies, by similar companies, by competing companies? It's not like you guys were offered from like Fortune 500s and she was offered like from a Fortune 50, right? Like you guys were all made this offer by companies that were in like a similar playing field, right?
So let me say this. Me and Tristan right now both work and are the subject matter experts in Fortune 50 companies. These are the same employers that hired all three of us, or not hired all three of us, would have hired all three of us, but she got offered 55 instead of me and Tristan getting offered 100 plus.
Okay. By a Fortune 50 as well.
Yes.
That's fucked up.
Hers was a shipping company.
That's fucked up.
I'm not going to say which, but yeah, it was. Of course. So my mind started wondering. It started wondering when I was like, I got this job where I work at my career besides my company. I went there and I was like, I was looking at corporate, and I remember my first day there, and like those it's like when you get hired there, you get to like a group of people, and it's like a
Indoc.
Yeah,
there we go.
Your job indoc training or whatever it is. It's like,
exactly.
Here's your employee handbook. Let's read page 1.
We're here for you.
Blah, blah. Yeah.
So I said, we will have maybe 200 people inside there, and everyone was telling about like where are you going to work at within the company, and I said it. I was like, hey, I'm going to go work here, and they're like, no, that must be a mistake. And I was like, no, I'm going to go work here. And they're like, no, there's no one. I mean, hardly ever people go work there. Then once they work there, they didn't say they don't look like you, but that's what they were saying.
Yeah, they were implying that because you're black, you could not possibly be working in that department for more than a couple years.
Right. So
as somebody who can like clean the floor, or like turn on the computers in the morning.
Exactly. And I'm gonna finish this story. So I went there, and then I saw there's no black people that work there. And that's one of the main reasons I decided to grow out my hair. And I already had tattoos. Thank you. And I have tattoos already, but I'm completely covered. And I was like, I'm glad I don't look like the normal person that works here. And like the first day I went there, the guy, he asked me for my ID. And I thought, okay, I'm new here. I think he's supposed to ask me for my ID or whatever. Then he was like, well, you're talking on the phone, and you're not supposed to be talking on your phone. Even though we don't work at a factory, we're supposed to pretend, even in the parking lot, we're supposed to be working, pretend we're working on the factory. So they'll walk in and talk on the phone because it's dangerous. I was like, okay, you're right. I mean, I don't know. I just started working here. He's like, you know what? Tell me who your manager is. And I was like, oh, snap. Here's my manager. And then he's like, well, and he just talked to me like 20, 30 minutes, just telling me how wrong I was. And I was like, I was just sitting there taking it. So then I emailed my manager, who works off site at another location. Like, hey, this happened. I'm sorry, but I was walking and talking, and like I still had the military army mindset. So I reported to my spirit, this is what I did. I was wrong, right? Then he's like, well, that's not really accurate. Who was the guy? And I told him. He was like, well, he works for you. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're a manager, right? You have people who report, and I'm over here oblivious because I am a manager, and I'm also an individual contributor. So this guy
this is great.
ended up coming back to me for his evaluation.
Be like, hey, motherfucker, welcome to the dance, bitch. No,
asshole.
Oh, that's great.
So,
do you guys smell that? Do you smell that in the air? It's karma. You
start working at this company, and you notice that clearly, apparently, very obviously, there are not going to be a lot of people in there who look like you. When did you start the thinking process to starting your own company?
Right there, that same
right as soon as you walked in.
Same week.
So that incident kind of snowballed into starting your own company, like that specific.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. I love that. I love when people they know exactly that specific moment. Like whenever you watch interviews for people that own these huge companies, and that question is always asked, when did you know? And I love when it's a very specific detail. Not like, I was just growing up and I love this. And no, it's like, no, on August 12th, 2007, it's 3:47 in the morning. This is what happened. And that's why I rule half the world now.
So, how long between that incident did your company, Sysexol Cybersecurity Solutions, how long between that incident and the day that you got to say, I fucking own this, I own this company?
So I started a pilot program. I used two of my friends. I was like, this is my idea. I want to get more people of color and people who look different and unique into cybersecurity. So I want y'all to get your master's in cybersecurity. And they're like, what? I was like, yeah, it's good money. Y'all can make it. There's not a lot of people that look like you. I just want to see if y'all can do it, and I'm gonna help y'all out. So I emailed my professor, Dr. Wu, who is a director for cybersecurity at Old Dominion University, and I was like, hey, I got a couple of people that I want to get into the cybersecurity program. So we did. So they started. They now both have a master's in cybersecurity. One, her name is Malia Hill. The other name is Lamar Pierce, and now they're both. I mean, they're both in the industry. I believe Malia is still a cybersecurity teacher, and then Lamar is still working at the DoD. But they're still. I mean, they have a master's now. So then, a year after that is when I applied for my LLC, and you see me right there. So that's a couple of people that were at my house recently. We now have 31 people within my company, and we started off with just the two. Yeah, really? My company's only been here for 2 months.
Hold on. How long did it take to go from 2 people to, what did you say, 31?
Yeah. I lied. I just got another person today, so 32 people today.
Go from 2 to 32. How long did that take?
Maybe 2 months.
Oh, maybe, yeah, no big deal.
Man, even Steve Jobs could start Apple in that amount of time, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's fucking dope, man.
How do you recruit these people? How do you find them? Like, how are you? Because I assume you knew some of these people, and then some of them referred others to you. But what's the plan to branch out and recruit the types of people that you're looking for to raise up a community that has been kind of kicked and put and kept down? What's the plan? What's the next step?
Right now I'm growing so fast that this took me by storm. Like I wasn't ready for this. But how I meet them is just talking. Like yesterday I had an appointment with a girl named Chelsea S in Suffolk, and I met her because she was my waitress when I went to the it's called Decoys in Suffolk, Virginia. And we just start talking. So that's how I meet people. I just start talking and saying, hey, what do you like to do? What's your passion? Do you have vision right now? And then they say, no. I was like, what do you think about cybersecurity? And if they sound like they're interested, then I'll say, hey, I can help you get into cybersecurity and doing something you love and working, making your own schedule, because I wake up whenever I wake up and I stop work whenever I stop work, right? And this is what I just do. I just meet people. And most of my company is, so I do not have any white males. I have, wait. Yes, I do. Oh my gosh. So there's this guy. His name is Chappelle, Clifford Chappelle. He was in prison for almost 25 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Never seen a computer before. And
what?
He is in my company. And I'm like, if I can get you to make it, then this story, this testimony will be huge. He's a former gang member. He was in a gang, the Crips. I'm pretty sure you heard of it. It's a black gang. This is a white guy with red hair, right? So he literally has tattoos from his head all the way to his feet, on his eyelids, neck, covered in tattoos. This is the guy that you look at and you walk on the other side of the street. And he's working with me now. So I gotta.
Besides all the tattoos and all that, I want to go back to what you said. He's never seen a computer.
Nope. I can teach anyone cybersecurity. I just need you to want to learn.
You said 25 years he was in prison?
25 years.
That dude was in prison longer than the CD player has been around.
He is 36 years old.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
He did some horrible things.
Yeah, but that's the past. And he met good people like you that are fucking, giving him an opportunity to succeed in life.
Holy shit!
Exactly.
And teach them a kick-ass fucking field and trade. Yeah, dude, that's Alan. Good on you, man. Good on you, man. That's awesome, bro.
Everybody in my company knows him, and they're just amazed because how can you literally he's been in and out of prison his entire life. He's never been out longer than a few months because he's always been doing something. So on these when we have our Zoom meetings, I'm like, hey Clifford, not Clifford, I say Chap. Hey Chap, show him your tattoos, flip his eyelids up, all this other stuff. This is a gnarly dude who's been in and out. He's been institutionalized his whole life. Yeah. If I can get him to be here and be great, then anyone can. And right beside him, I have a 19-year-old that doesn't want to go to college who just wants to get certifications, and he'll be just as profitable as I am in a year or so. And then I have on the other side of the spectrum, I have a lieutenant colonel. Elliot Galloway, Lieutenant Colonel Elliot Galloway. He's on the same playing field as an offender who's been locked down 25 years of his life. The same. So when I speak to my team, every time I approach them, I say, hey, team, this is what we're doing today. Hey, team, this is what we're doing this week. Everyone is even. I'm not above them, and they're not above me. We're all learning together on the same field.
That's so phenomenal, man. That's fucking great.
Yeah,
so
I'm Jesus, dude.
I want to tell you about other people in my company. So I have another. So Lamar Pierce, I mentioned earlier, with my test dummy when I first started. He has 2 master's degrees, right? He has one in mechanical engineering, and he has one in cybersecurity now. And then also, so I have a freshman named Chandler, first name Chandler. I won't mention her last name, but she is a freshman in college, just started cybersecurity, doesn't know anything about it, but she has the drive to learn. And again, she's on the same field as the captain I have, who is actively deployed to South Korea right now. I have people in South Korea. I have another gentleman in Germany. He's not officially part of my company yet, but he told me his intention to work for me. And he's in Germany right now making great money, but there's always
a better opportunity. There's always a better opportunity out there if you're willing to work for it and working to hustle for it. That's fantastic, man. Bro, I'm so glad.
He was my instructor.
No, hold on. The guy in Germany was your instructor where?
My Army intelligence instructor at Fort Huachuca, Arizona.
Shut the fuck up.
That's serious.
That's fucking fantastic.
This is great, man. I love this.
And he sent me his resume. That's how serious he is. He sent me his resume, and I'm reading 10 pages of just pure awesomeness. And I'm like, wow, just in 2013, 2012, you were teaching me. You were teaching this little E3 who knew nothing. And now you're sending me your resume to come work for me. You know?
That's fantastic, bro. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'm so glad to hear that you're fucking killing it, man. You're legitimately, not only are you legitimately killing it in an industry that is it's not even up and coming anymore. We're just, the general public is just pretending that cybersecurity is not that big a deal anymore. You're absolutely there, and you're making a difference, and you're recruiting people who know what they want to do and know how they want to accomplish it, and are driven, and they're passionate, and oh man, I can't wait. You know, you've had this LLC for 2 months. You've gone from 2 to 32. I can't wait to see where you are in 6 months, man. I cannot wait to see where you are in 6 months. I'm so excited.
I've been contacted. I I've been contacted by a Department of Defense agency, a 3-star agent, a three letter agency already.
Oh, an ABC corporation.
They want to basically filter my people from their training for a year with me and just push them straight to them. So we have a possibility of maybe guaranteeing a job after you leave me after a year, because my program is a year long. And then if I work with this agency, the people in my program will go from students to being active participants in the Department of Defense, like that.
That's amazing. You wrote your own program?
So no. What I did, no, because I told them last night. So I have an executive team. I have about a 5-person executive team.
Okay.
And they come from all
walks of life,
all spaces, all walks of life. So one of my team members, his name is Reginald Ralph. He has 11
that is
certifications.
Such a kick-ass fucking name.
Right? Right? He's amazing.
I watched a movie and that guy was the main character.
He has 11 certifications. He works for the United States Navy, civilian contractor. He has, he has 1 master's in cybersecurity, another one in IT, and then he has an associate's as well. He has everything. And this dude has a crazy resume. He's my partner. Then I have Lamar Pierce, who was the student that I said get through. Yeah. Lamar Pierce, his specific. So Reggie is really good at the IT part, at the information technology part. Lamar is good at the mechanical engineering part. Ariel Ramos, who is also a member of my executive team, he's good at the business part, the money management part. We have Malia Hill as well. So she was from my pilot program. So she's in there as well. And then we have, what's his name? I've drawn a blank here. Oh, man, I don't know. Sorry, I'm just excited. But he's getting his PhD right now in biochemical or bio cybersecurity or something like. It is amazing. Like, so I have people across the gamut. No one looks like me. No one has the same resume as me, but they all fit different sides that I want to offer to people who work with me, the interns, the people who come to me and say, hey, teach me cybersecurity so I can go out and make massive amounts of money, right? And I'm telling them, so one of the big things I'm sharing with them is all of my mistakes. And you might say, oh, wait, why are you sharing your mistakes? Like I brag on my mistakes more than I brag on my successes. My mistakes have made me and brought me to where I'm at here. And if I'm trying to propel real people to go further than I am, then I need to tell them all the pit holes I fell inside or I fell into, but they can avoid that and say, oh no, Alan did that already, or Alan did that in that situation. Let me not do this and that. Let me go straight over here because that's a straight arrow. That's where he's at. That's why I want to go past.
That's quality leadership right there.
Tell us real quick, what are some of the lows between when you got out of the Army and when you graduated from ODU? Because you've mentioned them on your Facebook before. Tell these people that it's not constantly a positive. Tell us tell us where you've been, man. Tell us some of your lows.
So my dream job is to be in law enforcement, is to be a state trooper. Excuse me. I've applied at least 10 times to different agencies, and I've never been picked up once. I have a lot of degrees. I am physically fit. I can do anything. There's nothing I can't do. The other day, I started running for the first time in maybe a year or two. My first mile that on that Monday was like a 9-minute mile. By that Friday, I was hitting a 5:30 mile because I want to, right?
Jesus.
So if there's, even in OCS, right?
I'm sorry, Alan, really quick. Billy, you're muted.
I was going to say 5 minutes. It took me 5 minutes to get to the mail this morning. The mailbox. It would take me 5 days to run a mile.
Hey, you're a big boy, though.
Yeah. I like food, man.
So I
eat food in 5 minutes.
You might have seconds. You look like you have seconds sometimes.
I do. I have thirds. I have thirds. Don't bring me to a buffet. You go broke.
Hey, come join the world of cybersecurity. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Oh God. Hey, no shit though. We might be talking after this, man. I'm telling you right now. I'll tell you because I've been taking some coding classes and stuff like that, trying to get into. What we're gonna talk. I'll tell you, we're gonna talk.
So, I'm thinking maybe I should stop saying this, but everyone that works for me, I tell them I guarantee 6 figures. I guarantee it. So, if I teach you everything I know, if you are interning with me for a year, you not only graduate from my program with the knowledge and knowing how to use effective cybersecurity, but you'll be getting degrees in that time. You'll be getting certifications in that time. So if you got the trifecta of all certifications, education, and experience, and I'm making this same price point with what you have, then you can make the same price point at what I'm making right now. So that's what I guarantee. I guarantee 6 figures. 12 months and 1 day from now, you'll be making a lot of money. Just give me 12 months.
Yeah, man.
But about my lows. Let me tell you about my lows though. I'm happy. I'm excited because again, my lows define and bring me to where I'm at. Right. So my dream job being a state trooper, that's a $40,000 a year job.
40,000 if you're lucky. Like
right. So I make that very quickly now.
I made that Friday.
I would give all of that. I'd give up all of that if I could become a state trooper today, and I'm not. And that it's hard to know what you were designed for. Like I know I was supposed to be a state trooper. I was just made to be in the state police. That's just I have that demeanor, right? I want to help people. I want to get on that road and save people's lives. That's just I'm here.
Yep.
And that goes. I know I'm about to jump here, but bring it back to you. That goes to CySecSo. So I had an opportunity with a 3-letter agency, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm mulling it over. I got contacted by the city of Franklin police chief. Me and him were at a volunteer event together, and we just started talking. And all happens when you start talking to somebody.
Yep.
So we just started talking, and I was like, "Hey, man, like, let me help you out. I know cybersecurity. I'm not sure how strong your infrastructure is to your network or to your policing, but maybe I can help you." He's like, "We can afford you, this and the other." I was like, "What if I work part-time?" So I kept emailing him. He's like, "Maybe you can work." So he's like, "Okay, maybe you can work part-time." And then the city council shot that down or whatever. And I'm like, "Okay, well, maybe I can just volunteer." Me and my company, we're doing we have a conference, and I had literally people flying in from Louisiana to come to my conference. And so I was like, "Hey, just send one of your police officers free of charge. I won't charge you at all." He was like, "No, we can't do that right now." So then, like, I beg him again. "Hey, I noticed that you don't have the right infrastructure to do this." And he's like, "Well, we don't have the money to do that." And then I was like, "Okay," I gave up. He sends me an email saying, "Hey, we're having some issues within our city. What do you know about surveillance?" And at the time, I didn't know anything about surveillance. And I'm like, "Okay, if I don't know, my partner knows." Because once again, my executive team, I made it so that everyone has a reach somewhere, right?
You built a team of people with specialties so that you
exactly
were not a specialist on one thing, but you were a team of specialists on multiple fronts.
Exactly. So I told him, "I don't know, but I can get back to you." So that next week we got back to him. He was like, "Hey, let's have a meeting." Me and my partner went to the meeting. It was great. And then the chief of police emailed me and said, "Hey, I think I might be able to get this amount of money. What can you do with this amount of money?" I was like, "Hey, I can do it for less than that." And I was like, I know I shouldn't have said that, but I was that adamant about still working with law enforcement. And so today, and I'll tell you today, before I even I told my executive team, but I didn't tell my company. Once again, they're all teammates. No one's higher than the other. So I tell them the direction that we're going. I make sure they know what direction we're headed. So today we got the quote back. We got it for $70,000 under where we were supposed to get it at. And all we had was 3 weeks. He said it was like maybe the beginning to middle of December when we got everything, what we needed to do for the city. Today, we got our answer, and it was $70,000 under budget.
That's fucking fantastic, man. That's a huge deal. Coming in under budget is it.
That's
Alan,
amazing.
Alan, and Billy, I work with the CBs, and every time, everything that we build, it has a price point. Every 2x4,
Yep.
every box of nails, and so on. $70,000 under budget, regardless of what it is a phenomenal feat.
I don't think people really grasp the concept of how much 70,000 is.
I swear to God, I don't know that there's been any time that I've seen something come in 70,000 under budget, regardless of the price point. I feel like the majority of the things that I do, at least in my community in construction and facilities maintenance, we need a little bit more money. We need a little bit more money. We need a little bit more money. And 70,000 under budget, Alan, is fantastic, man. And it's a huge feat, regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
Especially on your scale too.
And that gets your company's name spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to be able to do.
I'm gonna start printing stickers with SciSec Solo LLC on and tagging the city buildings all on my way up to Maine.
Sorry. My fifth teammate, his name is Xavier Palmer. Xavier Palmer. He's the guy that's getting a PhD, but he's also getting a master's at the same time.
Holy shit!
Cool. That's
yeah.
Great. So, like I said, it took me five minutes to get to the mailbox.
I can't pass fucking pre-calculus 5 times in a row. This guy's over here getting a fucking doctorate degree and a fucking master's. I gotta call some fucking people, man.
Yeah. And he's like the lead editor for the graduate newsletter as well.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, so like
fantastic.
He's amazing. And the thing that connects all of us is just cybersecurity and the people. So let me tell you about the people who come to work with me, right? For me, I say teammates, right? And they phone call. So here's the thing. I charge people $100 for this, right? I charge them. So Hugh, let's say for instance, you're interested in my company. I say, hey Hugh, pay me $100, right? And I tell people $100 was a lot to me, right? $100 was a lot to me when I didn't have anything, right? And then now, before Malia and before Lamar, I was helping other people out, and they would take it and they'll use some of it, and they won't use some of it. They'll listen to me and then they'll leave, right? But if you have that $100 invested in me, I know that you're serious, because $100 once again is a lot of money to people. And so I charge them $100, but with that, they're getting skills that will make them 6 figures in a year. And there's no company across the great United States that will charge you $100 to make a 6-figure income. And so these certifications that I'm helping them get, that I'm aiding in them, and I'm teaching them, coaching me and my team that are coaching them. Thank God I got Reginald Ralph. But these people that I have teaching them, right? They're free too. They're not charging. They're not doing anything. So it's just $100. And you will get paid like 6 figures. And then on top of that, once you go get those certifications, so in the state of Virginia, the Security Plus certification gets you $75,000 for salary right now. And it costs $339 to take that Security Plus exam, right? So what you do, Hugh, you gave me your $100. When you graduate with your certificate in Security Plus, I give you back $339.
Goodness, we're switching majors.
I'm not making money here. So it's up to you. If you want to get that certification, get the certification. If you want to get 3 certifications, get 3 certifications. I'm going to pay you whatever it costs to get that certification. I'm going to reimburse you, because I'm not in here for making money. I make enough right now just from where I work at in my career. My company is to get other people out who normally wouldn't look the mold, who wouldn't look like the stereotypical button-up guy, no tattoos, and it's clear. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for perfection.
You want people who want to go to work and make a difference. You're looking for people who, regardless of what they look like, have passion and they care about what they're doing, and they want to go to work and they want to feel some job accomplishment. They want to feel some satisfaction with their fucking work, regardless of what the fuck they look like. Because that mold doesn't exist. It doesn't, and it shouldn't exist anymore. It's not fucking 1950. It's not 1960. It's 1970. It's not Goodfellas. It's not The Godfather. It's not fucking Revenant. I don't think The Revenant was the right one. What was the one I'm thinking of? The Irishman. It's not any of that fucking time anymore. It's time for breaking molds. It's time for changing shit. It's a time for changing the way we look at things. It's a time for saying, this is what this person is capable of, and this is what I need. Let's make this happen. What the fuck does it matter what you look like.
Yeah, Hugh, let me tell you, man. I go to my business, my company cafeteria, and I've never once seen someone else ask someone for their ID. I When I was going to that cafeteria, I was asked at least once a week, do I work here? Am I in the right location? When I go to meetings, they're like, hey, this meeting is for this. We're about, so literally, they'll be right beside me and they'll say, this meeting is about me. I'll go over this and this. And what are you, like an intern, right? So we're about to teach you this, this, and this. And then the doors will close and I would get up and say, no, I'm Alan Walker. This is my meeting. I'm about to be here to teach you what to do.
Yeah.
Right? That happened to me all too much where people didn't even think, one, I was leading the meeting, two, I was in the right place, or even if I had the right to be there. And once again, I work at a Fortune 50 company. I'm not going to tell you which one, but it's up there.
Yeah. Alan, really quick, Billy, if you wouldn't mind, one of the last questions posted in the comments. Do you have it available?
Yes.
Alan, this is a question for you. How does your company make profit?
Just like I tell my team, I'm not trying to make profit. I'm just trying to get people, I always say, people like me in spaces where we aren't normally welcomed. So I don't care about making profit. You invest in me, you're giving me your $100, then I'll put that in a little piggy bank for when we do workshops at the Workforce Development Center in Franklin, Virginia. We use that money to then rent out that building for that day or buy pizza for everyone. We're not here to make money. We're here to help people. And that's literally what we're doing. You can ask anybody in my company, hey, are those any like routine fees or is there anything that he charges them? No, he asked for $100 one time and he coaches me any day of the week because we have an app that we use. He coaches me any day of the week. I can ask any kind of question. I can ask him any time of the day. He's going to respond to me. He's going to coach me. He's going to teach me. And all he asks for $100 and he guarantees 6 figures. And I do guarantee 6 figures. If someone looks at your resume and then looks at my resume and say, hey, Alan, you're worth $100,000, but Hugh, you're worth only $30,000, that's a problem. And that shouldn't be the problem. So I'm making people's resumes reflect my own or even better than my own. And I say, hey, get out there and go to this job because they'll give you what you deserve. So I have no certifications, not a single certification, but I know they're important in this trade. So that's why I got Reggie. Reggie has 11 different certifications to include CISSP, CISM, the Security Plus, he has ethical hacking. He has everything. So people who want to go to certifications, they can ask him. He's my IT guy. I'm the information security guy, the IS guy, and I teach IS, but we cover every spectrum to make sure that person or you, we make sure you look right to demand that salary that you deserve.
So you're not interested in making money. You make enough money, like you said, from another career. This is more of a passion project for you. This is you getting people into a community. My brother Dinesh, he says, that's great. It sounds amazing and great for your customers, but is that the best way to run a business if you're not making profit? But you're not in it to make profit. You have another company, you have another job, you have another career that pays you. This is a passion project. This is the minimum amount necessary for you to get to these people to the next level in their life, to a career, not just a job, to the next pay bracket, to be competitive into a next level of life for them. That's what you're doing.
Exactly. I am, because you can work a 9 to 5 and be happy, but a lot of people aren't happy working a 9 to 5. And like I said, I work for a legit company and I don't work a 9 to 5. I go to work when I want to go to work. I'm an individual contributor. I work at my own pace and I teach people to work at their own pace too. You don't have to kill yourself. I'm tired of just surviving life. I want to live it and I want to give other people an opportunity to live it as well. I do make a lot of money. That's why I can afford to pay people back for the certifications that they get, right?
Yeah.
I just want you to make it. If you make it.
Sorry, that's why you can afford to ask for just the basic amount. That's why you can afford to say, hey, listen, this is the minimum amount that I need to help you get to the next phase. This is you giving back after you gave all that time to the Army and you gave all that stress to the Army, and then you put in all that effort into school, and now you finally have this job. You worked your way to the position where you can say, awesome, I'm now in a spot where I can help you reach your next potential. I can give back to the community. I can give back to people that have desires and have passions and feel the same way that I do.
Exactly. 100%, sir. Like
It's fucking
right
fantastic.
there.
It's fucking fantastic, man.
It's great.
Yeah. So also like the people on my team, like the people who are learning underneath us, um, with certain jobs like the city of Franklin, like right now, even if they don't get paid, and even if people, the 32 people that come to me and say, "Hey, I'm working with you now," even if they don't get paid, the city of Franklin is going to offer them not just experience running surveillance tools that they can then add to their resume, which will then get them paid for what is on the experience on their resume, but it's going to offer them background check. Because in order to work with this state agency, they're going to have to have a background check ran on them to make sure that they are qualified to see what they're going to be seeing in this city, right? So they're already going to be having a leg up. So when they go to their future employers, they're going to be like, "Hey, I don't have a security clearance, but I haven't had a background check ran on me by this city before." And furthermore, so the money that I saved the company, I saved the city, I'm going to ask the chief that, "Hey, I want these people to get paid. Like, it's great that volunteering, this experience is great. It will get them paid. But if I can put some money in their pocket, then hell yeah, I'm going to put some damn money in their pocket." And the chief knows this, my executive team knows this, and my team knows this. I tell them, "Hey, you're not getting paid now, but I'm going to break my back trying to get you this $70,000 that we saved the city."
Al, that's fantastic, man. Bro, I can't thank you enough for being here with us tonight. I can't thank you enough for speaking about your experiences in the Army, man, which were absolute. It sound like they're absolute fucking shit. And we clearly have, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. These fucking people that release these fucking documents up on the higher government level, they're not in touch with our personnel in the junior level like yourself, myself until very recently. There's still obviously a lot of work to do because you shouldn't have had to go through what you went through. And I'll never be able to thank you enough for being willing to share your experiences, because I understand for a lot of people it's hard and it is difficult, and I understand that. But to be here and for you to tell us what you went through, and then also how you came out the other end, and how not only were you able to benefit yourself, but you're able to give back to people and you're able to help others succeed. Alan, thank you so much.
For sure.
Alan, do me a favor, stay in the green room. We're just
Billy's gonna cry.
Yeah, no, I'm just I am. I probably am. But yeah, stay in the green room. We'll be back with you in a minute, man.
Thank you for the opportunity, gentlemen. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, dude. Thank you so much. Whew.
That's great, man. I can't believe I can't believe almost 20 years ago I met Alan Robin Walker. We used to call him Robin too. I didn't know his name was Alan until like 2 years later. It like came up in conversation. I think I heard one of his parents call him that one time. And just
he almost beat your ass for ditching him.
He did. It would have been a hard, 5'6" and 120 pounds, whatnot. It's weird. It's weird because I've always thought that I've had an older soul. Like I've always been dismissed for being younger, even though I felt that I had the point of view of somebody that was older than myself. But now, I'm 32, I think, and some of these people that I went to high school with, I know you're an old man. Some of these people I went to high school with, and that I met early in the days of the military are doing these such great things, and so now I finally get to see the things that they did with their lives. And it's amazing because some people, I listen to this podcast called Listening to America, which is done by one of my professors here at Old Dominion. And he had this conversation with this woman who said 7 out of 10 suicides are from white males because black males are used to adversity and they're used to things being more difficult for them. And so essentially what that means is that white males are not used to it. And so we cave a lot easier and succumb. And so just to say again,
we bitches.
For sure. But just to hear these success stories of people from 20 years ago that I knew, and to know and to hear that they're just eating, and that it wasn't like nobody. I can't say nobody, unfortunately, but that just to hear that anybody in general said that's a problem that doesn't need to exist, so we're going to go fix it somewhere else, and that's going to double back because it's going to be a big enough issue that we're going to solve this initial problem. It's just we're in it for the long con, and it's a lot of fun for me. It really is.
No, it is pretty cool to see, people you've known, early on in your life fucking just killing it now, especially going through all the adversity and the bullshit. It really does make me sick because my mind, when I see stuff like that, when I see it on the news or I see it happen right in front of me, just from the way I was raised, my family never taught me to see color. Like I've said before, they taught me to, you respect me, I respect you. And if not, that's great. You're not in my life. I move on. But my mind doesn't, it's hard for me to think like that because my mind doesn't work in that way. So when I hear stories like, from Alan where, he gets his truck flipped and the guy gets out and he says what he says to him, I don't understand that because my brain doesn't fucking work that way. So it's so hard. It just sucks. And it's so hard to comprehend sometimes.
That kind of behavior was taught to them. It was, part of their family's identity and whatnot. And I got to say really quick before we close out, my buddy Dinesh here. Dinesh, let me tell you this, man. In 2010, Dinesh and I were deployed together. He was an EA2, an engineering aide. And he was already smart as fuck at that time.
I'm a doctor. What the fuck?
Yeah, he was already wicked fucking smart back then. I was legitimately failing college algebra.
Which is not a surprise because we've heard about your troubles with math.
I don't want to fucking talk about that. I asked him last minute to take my final exam just to get me a 73 so I didn't have to pay back to government. And so
why does the letter equal a number? I'm so confused.
He was involved in my first rocket attack actually. One hit and we both froze standing. We're supposed to hit the deck and whatnot, but we didn't know what the fuck was going on. But we've been on Facebook together for a really long time, and he did. It's crazy because he was an engineering aide. His job was to draft projects and buildings and tell us where shit was going to go. And I remember reading a story poll with him. He was like, read me the lower number. I'm like, I think it's the highest number. And he was like, oh yeah, no, that's right. And I'm like, I don't know if that's right. Sure. And, now Dinesh's up there, he's clearly got it together. He's a doctor. He's a rich doctor, He's a rich doctor. He does stuff. So thank you for helping me get past college algebra and into math I cannot pass anymore. So I got another $100 waiting for you if you're willing and able.
Yeah, Alan's holding his card up and says PhD on his also.
Billy, we will be back Monday. I start my new job on Tuesday. Up in Maine, but
nice. You're going to become a doctor too?
I'm not going to be a doctor. I'm going to be an electrician. I'm gonna work on Dinesh's EADs. AEDs.
I work with the Zappy Zaps.
I'm gonna work with the Zappy Zap. When he's like, "We need an AED," I'm gonna go zoink and wake him back up. Yeah,
dude. Speaking of that, I told you my first 4 years in, I was a GSE. So
I do remember. Yes,
we used to take the Meggers. And I used to go up to people when they were in their racks and
zap them
and clip them to them, and they'd be dead fucking asleep after an 18-hour shift. I'd fucking take that Megger right in their fucking rack.
You're a terrible person, but I'm not gonna rat you out because I appreciate you.
I'll drop names. All those motherfuckers deserved it. But no, we will be back next Monday at 7:30. Yesterday, sorry about that. That was me. I had stuff going on. I'm not going to get into it. It was personal stuff. Yeah. And Hugh is getting ready to move from Virginia to Maine, so he's got a lot of shit going on. Like he said, right now he's in his camper. I'm in the camper. So you're living in that up in Maine. In Maine, that's going to be your house.
Yeah, my buddy's parents have a 30 amp breaker. They're going to let me plug into. But join us on Monday. A good friend of mine is a good friend of ours. Excuse me. Runs Sailors and Sticks. It's a Facebook group for sailors who like cigars, not penises. But he's going to be here to join us on Monday. It's going to be a really good talk.
If you're into that too, whatever, it's cool.
Yeah. All right, brother, close the motherfucker down because I got to pee so fucking bad and honestly hurts.
And also, real quick, next week we're going to have our first ladies take over Liberty Risk with Meg. That's going to be next Thursday, so that's going to be pretty fucking cool. We'll see you guys on Monday at 7:30. Hugh, go take a piss. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, I'm going to fucking close this time right now and pee real quick.